Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Chris Salcedo Show here on Newsmax. There are myriad stories out there that should lead every American to take a leadership role in reining in our out-of-control government. A government that has grown beyond the consent of the governed and is devoid of much-needed leadership. The failure of the Democrats is well chronicled. The left-wing extremism of the Democrats is the genesis of virtually all the problems in America. But as the polls show, Democrats are indeed the problem. They also show the GOP isn't the solution to that problem. The fact is that Republicans have done nothing but enable Democrats, using the excuse of bipartisanship as their guide, rather than letting the Constitution and the Founding Fathers be their guide. So, having done little to nothing to protect America from extremism from socialists and the Democrat Party, 56% of our people say that under Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy's leadership, the Republican Party has not made a strong enough case to earn midterm votes. Let that digest for a second. The reason for all of this is simple. The GOP seeks to normalize the deviancy and damage being done to the United States by a childish, reckless, and dangerous Democrat Party rather than oppose the Democrat Party. Mitch, Kev, and their Surrender Caucus GOP have made clear they think the biggest threat to the United States is conservative, America First voters who are devoted to a limited constitutional government and a government that spends within its means. The question is, why vote for that kind of Republican when Democrat priorities are going to get implemented anyway? It's not like the GOP doesn't have plenty of material out there to formulate constitutional, limited government solutions and propose those solutions and use every trick the Democrats use to force votes and to force debate. Fox News Digital, one of these problems they brought up, spoke with a Latino fire captain who described the Democrats' pro-illegal immigration push. He noted how the influx of illegal aliens is literally destroying the largely Hispanic community he lives in. He noted how the illegal aliens themselves were dying at a horrific rate because of the Democrats' border. He begged the pain to stop as he observed that Eagle Pass, Texas, had been turned into a war zone. His words, not mine. It's so bad that Democrat-run cities in Texas are taking a cue from the governor of that state and shipping illegal aliens to lawless Democrat-run cities. But despite the facts, despite the damage being done to Latino communities, despite the flow of deadly China fentanyl, despite the enrichment of narco-terrorists who are militarizing our border, despite the flow of 6 million illegal aliens projected by year's end, Biden's border czar said this.
We're going to have 2 million people cross this border for the first time ever. You're confident this border is secure?
We have a secure border in that is a priority for any nation, including ours and our administration.
Has the Republican Party and Mitch McConnell's Senate pledged to stop all of Biden's nominees unless that border is secured? Has one Republican proposed something called zero-based budgeting for all of government if they get back into power? The answer is no. They haven't. The GOP has accepted Democrat concepts like automatic spending increases and must-pass legislation. Heck, the GOP won't even commit to regular order. You know what that is? It's proposing and debating 12 separate spending bills. Instead, the Republican Party is opting to accept the Democrat omnibus and continuing resolution method, which has led to over $31 trillion in debt and runaway inflation. To the Mitch McConnell Republicans, the question is, how can you claim to oppose Democrats when you adopt their language and accept their premises? The bipartisan disastrous spending has consequences, my friend. Today, Americans received confirmation that left-wing economic policies fail. This is always a shock to the likes of Paul Krugman out there, but I knew this was going to happen. Inflation for August came in at a near 40-year high. This happened despite falling gas prices that are falling because demand for energy is languishing because the economy is rapidly slowing down to a stall. It appears that only gas prices are down. Everything else is skyrocketing. Food prices at home, they're up 13.5% in the past year, the largest increase since 1979. Rent is up 6.7% in the last year, the largest increase since 1986. Electricity is up 15.8%. That's the sharpest increase since 1981. And even after the socialists and the Democrat Party, quote, fixed health insurance with Obamacare, health insurance has skyrocketed an astonishing 24.3% in 1 year, the largest such increase ever recorded in the United States. The question is, aren't you glad the Democrat Party fixed things? These numbers will influence the Fed and their next meeting. It's expected that they will push another massive interest rate hike. In my opinion, that will ensure what's known as a hard landing for the U.S. economy. It won't be Joe Biden, Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi, or Kevin McCarthy who get hurt by that hard landing. We, the people, will bear the brunt for allowing the most venal and unqualified people to make decisions for our lives instead of retaining that power and protection for ourselves. We're going to detail how we can remedy that here in a minute after we talk about the rocky road ahead for the U.S. economy with our first guest. As we stated, your misery was cause for celebration in the swamp today. Joe Biden trumpeting the passage of his Build Back Broke boondoggle earlier today. The bill made possible by Joe Manchin of West Virginia will not reduce inflation, but will burden taxpayers throughout the next decade. This follows the Consumer Price Index revealing that inflation remains incredibly high despite those dropping gas prices. As mentioned earlier, new poll has found that a majority of Americans don't believe the GOP is capable of cleaning up the damage brought in by the Democrat Party. Both parties have worked to send the nation spiraling into inconceivable debt. But there is hope, and it rests in the hands of we, the people, where the founders envisioned it always should be.
Hey guys, it's Rob Carson. September is historically the worst performing month for the stock market, so you better be ready for it. The Fed continues to aggressively raise rates, and JP Morgan is forecasting another mega rate hike September the 21st. Is that why Jamie Dimon said an economic hurricane is coming our way? Well, gold and silver have remained remarkably stable despite the Fed aggressively raising rates today. The Patriot Gold Group has a special incentive for Newsmax viewers. Huge! Now precious metals investors can enjoy the no-fee-for-life gold and silver IRA on qualifying rollovers, or enjoy free, discreet, insured shipping on all direct gold and silver purchases. Here's the number, 800-356-4470. Call 800-356-4470 today.